Okay. Hello, everybody. This is episode 1 of Hold the Throne. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode where it was just about me talking about the up and coming episodes and talking about kind of my past in the music, business or the business music. That's what I like to call it. But anyway, we have a guest today. Her name is Ecstrah. She goes by Ecstrah. She just dropped a new single, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about that. I'll let her do her own intro, but I'm going to bring her on right now. Let's get it, Ecstrah.
Hey, what's up?
Yes. Okay, so first off, I just want to thank you for, saying yes. That was, like I said last week, I put out that message on the auto tune post. I don't even know how long ago, more than a few weeks ago, and it was just an idea, and so I would like to thank you for responding to it and saying that you would be on the show. Because what that actually did was put a fire behind me and make me really jump to it. I didn't have a lineup of guests. Like I told you, I was like, I didn't even have a name. So when you said that you were gonna, that you were down, I was like, oh shoot, now I have to have a show. I was like, I got to do it now. I can't, procrastinate. So thank you for that. So how about we just start by you letting me know, like just a quick introduction of yourself, like who you are. You can keep it, just music wise. You don't have to go into your favorite hobbies or anything, but let us know who you are as a musician.
Why, thank you very much for the opportunity and the time to do so. My name is Kenya, aka Ecstrah. Musically, I'm extra terrestrial, extravagant, whatever.
I love it. I love it.
Extra everything.
I mean, I like the spelling because that's why I was like, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but I got it on the first try. Okay, so extraterrestrial. That's a good one because honestly, my company that I started a little while ago, and again, I'm not some super, successful, entrepreneur or anything like that. I'm just a person who really loves music. And just a little bit about myself for you, I started recording back in like, 99, just at, a cousin was like, oh, this guy's having a a talent search kind of thing or whatever, and he's gonna be booking a bunch of artists and everything. So I started way back in high school. Like I let everybody know, like I'm 39 now, so I've had peaks and valleys of where I felt like it was about to happen, because when I did that talent search, I was chosen. A few years later, I was chosen to work with another local record company. And so that gave me kind of like the confidence to say like, okay, I can do this. I can definitely do this. If I keep grinding, something's going to happen. But it didn't happen. So years later, I was like, I'm going to start my own thing, maybe like 5-6 years ago. So the reason why I was, when you said extraterrestrial, my company was called Planet Axiom. And that's basically about giving people a kind of like a second chance and starting all over again with their, respective careers, whether it's, music, photography, videography, whatever you want to do, especially in a time like now where, everybody's content creators, everybody, you can put a song out right now if you wanted to, like literally after we do this, you can release a new project. So Planet Axiom, just had to give that a shout out. So you can definitely be extraterrestrial with with me and with us over here. So what got you into music? What motivated you to say, I am going to become a recording artist?
I've always loved music since I was a kid. I was the youngest. I am the youngest of 6 children. So, I was the little clown around in the house, the spoiled one or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I wanted the attention. I don't know. But I made music basically out of everything
Okay.
as well. So
No,
It's something that I'm very passionate about,
mhm,
and like as a person, as a human being that goes through things, especially person that's not really from this, like this culture, the
mhm,
American culture,
mhm.
um,
Where are you from? Not to cut you off, but since you mentioned that.
the family is from Dominican Republic.
Okay. Nice, nice. And where are you actually based out of? Like what town, city, state are you representing today?
I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida now. I'm in Florida, but Treasure Coast.
Okay.
But, I'm from New York. I was born in New York, from the Bronx. Grew up in Missouri.
Wow. You've traveled a little bit. Me, I'm like straight California. Like I've traveled, I've been to New York before, briefly, a few days kind of thing, on a quick vacation, been to Vegas, stuff like that, but never really lived anywhere else. So what was the music scene like for you in Florida though, when you were, saying that, hey, I wanna do this? What were the opportunities like, or were there any opportunities?
I mean, so I'm 32 now,
Mhm.
and this is, like I said, something I've loved since I was a child, but I finally have released my first single
Oh, that was the first one. Okay. I like that. Okay. Keep going.
ever. My original beat, original lyrics, and record and mix and mastered, so it's the first time that I've, been able to be calm enough or collected enough to be able to have a goal and accomplish it and do it. That didn't have to do with being a mom.
Right. No, that's actually amazing. And I mean, I know before, we started this broadcast, I know you were telling me, you had just got back into music. And I thought that was like, really, really inspiring because I'll start and I'll, go as hard as, I know how to do. And then, you know, get a little bit of a buzz, just, on social media and stuff like that, but it doesn't really hit that plateau, it doesn't like really go anywhere. And so, then you start, you get back to your regular work, your regular life, the job and, whatever else is going on. And so I've actually just started doing my music again too. Well, last year I released 2 singles and like that I
But
actually went to the studio and did everything. You know what I mean? Thank you, thank you. Before that, I was like, I wasn't in touch with my engineer, so I just recorded vocals like on this little home studio, device called I think it's called Spire. And the vocals didn't come out really well or anything like that. But the producer that I was working with, I was like, "Can I just send you these and you can lay them for me?" So it was a lot of back and forth. But I'm saying this to say, like, no matter what, I always want to, put out music. And so after I did the 2 singles last year, they kind of didn't, once again, I'm doing all this stuff, putting songs out. People are like, oh, that one was cool. I like that. That beat is cool. But, it doesn't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't really do much. But it's still not enough to make me be like, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to stop. So, for you, I would say just the fact that you even said, okay, I'm 32 now. I'm going to release my first single. I think that's just amazing. You know what I mean? And yeah, like so you love music, put it out there.
absolutely.
Absolutely, right? So was this also your first time being in like a studio? Was it your first time recording or was it just your first time releasing music?
I've been into the studio over all these years, like 3 times, like
Yeah.
3 different studios. And, I've a lot of karaoke, a lot of talent shows and contests, but never, and written stuff
Yeah.
on other people's beat.
Oh,
Never something original. So
yeah.
recently I got into it. I was like, I've gotten into like a peaceful state of mind where, being a mother and also, like a wife. I'm not really married, but that common
Yeah.
law marriage,
Yeah.
So just doing all those things, but still have been able to come to some form of peace of mind that I can actually focus, concentrate, build a studio here in my house,
Nice.
have been engineering, things as far as pressing record and stop.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's something that I had to really kind of embrace and learn myself when like I started doing it again this time because again, my engineer, I trust him to do everything and like he's amazing. I mean, he kind of like helped, craft my sound like years ago, like, doing little, effects and glitches on my voice and, just all kind of like cool stuff. But he wasn't available, and so same thing, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just build my own, like studio here. I started with just a computer, and then I didn't even have I had monitor speakers, but they weren't like really good. And then I had my regular, I'm gonna show it. This was for my podcast microphone.
Got
And
it.
like I literally like strung this up, like on a it was supposed to be a mic stand and it really wasn't. I really just was like, I'm gonna just do it myself, and the songs came out kind of clear and clean, but it wasn't, it wasn't that quality, but I felt good because I was doing it myself. So when you said the engineering and doing things like that, like, yeah, like I started having to do real research. So it's funny that we met on a on an auto-tune post, but
The algorithms,
yeah, exactly.
For all these years, I've been passionate about music for all these years, but
Mhm.
not once did they ever show me anything about going to school to be a producer, going to school for music, right?
Mhm.
But then ever since I searched up like one thing, I think like singing lessons or something like that, or let me see, music self-recording.
Mhm.
Now all I see is
Yeah.
marketing about music, becoming a producer, this lesson, that course.
Yep. Same here. That's pretty much the same thing that happened with me when I got back into it myself. And it's it's been fun. So even then, like you are probably more patient than I am, but me, like I'm like and also since I have released music before, like on Spotify and stuff like that. My first full album I released was maybe like I think now maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Um,
That's
but
what's up. See, that's what I'm saying, I congratulations.
yeah, and I mean, talk about research. That's how I did it. I was just like, I had to figure out, how do I get my music on like a Spotify or Apple? I had no idea. You know what I mean? So luckily, though, just doing a quick search, scrolling, and then be like, oh, okay, just sign up to this. So I use Tooncore. I don't know if you've heard of Tooncore yet for distribution. So I can send you that. I mean, it's just tooncore.com. They handle like publishing and everything, you know what I mean? So
Like
and
distro,
they was that
like kind of like DistroKid.
yeah, it's like that, and I have heard of that, but the first one I heard of was TuneCore, so that's the one I've been rocking with. But the cool thing is there's so many other platforms now. You don't have to only use like TuneCore now. Like even SoundCloud does distribution now, you know what I mean? I don't know why, but I get really loyal to certain companies. So the prices on TuneCore, the only thing I don't like about it is like it's a monthly thing. I'm not a monthly, but a yearly thing. So every year I have to pay to, keep my music distributed.
Yeah,
But
it's like DistroKid.
if I don't pay, then they take it down and you basically have to then put it back on. So this may sound a little dark or grim, but I'm always like, well, I plan on being around for a while, but what happens if, like I pass? You know what I mean? Like just gonna
Prepay that. Send them a big ass payment.
you know,
Prepay that. Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, who's gonna continue the legacy? But
Right.
so that's something that I want to talk to them about, like for real though. It's just like what happens, like to the music. When somebody's gone, you know what I mean? You just gonna take the music down, or is it like a legacy where you keep it up? Who knows? But Anyway, but no, I think it's
Yeah.
amazing that you definitely put your single out, and I saw it's on YouTube, right? So tell me about that song, because you mentioned mental health in that song. You said something like, you're good for my mental health, and that's one of the lines that definitely like stuck out to me, because I mean, of course, obviously in the past few years there's been a lot of talk about mental health, mental wealth, all of that, but you don't really hear it in music. So I think that's brave to even throw that out there, even if it was just to rhyme with something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you put that out there, and I think that's like really brave to talk about that. So tell me
Yeah.
more about those lyrics in that song.
So about that.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since a kid, they say I was diagnosed later on in life with all kinds of mental depression, bipolar,
Wow.
uh, all that stuff, giving me medications, this and that. So, growing up, I didn't know about that definition or that diagnosis, mental health. I didn't know about that. I went to a doctor when I was sick. My
Okay.
parents were Dominican. They're Dominican, so they weren't like, I got all my shots and everything, but when it came to mental health, there was no such thing as mental health. You're just either a good or a bad kid
Mm-hmm.
for them. So, you know, during all my years of life and early years, and I did struggle with those things and still do. Um, I listen to music, and those are the things that was my medication. That was what got me through, being able to relate to this person's music or the notes and the tune, being able to, just it resonating with my soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I always wanted to make sure that when I do make music, that, I want it to be something that people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
That if I want to be real. So, you know, there's gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's coming out.
No, that is awesome. Like for real. And I mean, again, people definitely are starting to talk about it a lot more. So I mean, even if, like that being like the first time I've heard it, I think that's like amazing, for you to even throw that out there again. So I'll say that again and again. Like, that was amazing to hear that.
It's real.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's definitely
That's
real,
all.
and you're definitely brave for, like even admitting, to something like that as well. So
It's real and it exists. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I mean, it's not something that I'm proud of.
Mm-hmm.
None of the things that is to me are negative in my life. It's not things
Right.
that I'm really proud of, but when
But
it
it's you.
comes to
Mhm.
being real, it's about shit. I mean, if I want to be proud of what I'm saying, then I better be doing good shit
Right,
I'm proud of, because
nice. No, I love it. I love it. No, that's really cool. So, what were some of your, or who were some of your musical inspirations growing up? Like, who did you listen to? Let's see if I know anybody.
Aaliyah.
Oh my, that's my favorite, female artist. That was, all the way up until her passing. That was my favorite female artist. Continue.
Monica, Brandy, SWV, Shakira. I sang a Shakira song in a fifth grade in Missouri, which was basically all like white people.
Mhm.
I sang a Shakira song in Spanish when I was in fifth grade.
Wow.
Shakira.
No, that's cool. So with all of that said, when I first heard your song, I was like, you reminded me of Jennifer Lopez. I felt like you had kind of like the same tone as her, you know what I mean? Um, and I was like, I want to hear more. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear different types of songs from you. That one was definitely upbeat. You know what I mean? It was definitely, a little more up tempo type song. Um, and I definitely want to hear. So you said you recorded that yourself, right?
Yeah, so I record it myself and then I have somebody else mix and master it. I send it to them digitally.
Nice, nice.
And that's something else that I want to mention
Hmm.
while we're speaking. So I go ahead and mention it right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is so important, I believe, for artists, indie artists, because one of the things that really deterred me a lot from music was the various times that I did go to try to do something with it, depending on somebody to record me or send me what they recorded, all these things, go through a little BS,
Hmm.
like with the unprofessional people that are not really trying to help you with your music. They're just trying to like do something else, try to take
Yeah.
advantage of a young woman or a young girl. So there's an app called Fiverr.
Yes, yes. Heard of that one.
It's very important for indie artists because there are engineers from all around the world
Hmm.
that are on this platform that are willing to and able and available to
Hmm.
mix and master your music in a time frame, in a certain time frame.
Hmm. And they get it done. Yeah, I've actually used Fiverr before, for something else. I think it was like an art project, like years ago for something. I don't even remember what it was, but I heard about. I was again searching for help as well with within industry, and that's definitely one that came up too. So yeah, definitely you have to as an independent artist, you definitely have to use what's available and out there. Like me, I did find a producer. Well, I found an engineer that I felt comfortable enough with to go in and, be myself with, and allow him to say no, do this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
try it this way. Maybe we could do it this way or try it again or say this again. You didn't do, you didn't hit that note, that kind of thing. That was really, really important to me, starting off because when I mean when you were talking about people taking advantage, nobody took advantage of me like in that sense or try to in that sense, but studios will take advantage of an artist coming in there and saying, hey, I want to spend $25 an hour or $30 an hour, and then all they'll do is just record you. You know what I mean? Like they'll literally just put you in the booth and then say, I'm about to push play, or record, and then they'll give you a product and it's like this doesn't sound like this doesn't sound like the radio, or this doesn't sound
Yeah.
like high quality, and you don't even know why it doesn't. Because when I first started, I
Right.
didn't know that there was all these different tactics and mastering and mixing to the
Mhm.
album or the song, and so like my first few um instances where I went out on my own and tried to do that, it was just kind of like I was left with this product that I had to kind of like be like, it's not the best, but it is what it is, so I'll put it out. But but when
Right.
I met this different engineer, he mixed while he was doing the music. So the product would come out and it would sound like it was even mastered. It sounded so good that I was just like, this is the only person I'm letting record me from now on, until I started doing it myself just recently. So, definitely everything you said is definitely important as well. So even though you're just now starting to actually record, what do you feel is going to keep you motivated, to after you've already released this song, I'm pretty sure like friends and family have heard it, you've had some feedback, maybe good, maybe bad. What's going to keep you going? What do you think is going to keep you going? What's going to motivate you to continue?
I don't know. It's, maybe it's like a competition with myself almost. Like, I don't know. I'm also a life insurance agent.
Hmm.
So I've been doing that for years. And I know that that time could come, the day could come. So, what do I want? Like, what I can't do it when I'm gone. So I might as well just take advantage of the time that I have here and be able to build that legacy and be able to leave that legacy, because all the love that I have for music and the passion that I have for it, like I want to take advantage of my breath to be able to,
Yeah.
make it.
Get it
And
out there. Yeah.
yeah, it's what's important to me. So, just building this music, letting it out, and being able to rock to it, I love
Mhm.
that. I
No,
love
yeah.
to record and then press play.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like, I mean, just mentioning mortality. I think that is definitely something that keeps me going too. Because like I also do a podcast, and one of the things that keeps me, doing that, I kind of slack off a little bit. I was gonna say weekly, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't do it weekly anymore. But and it's totally different topic. It's about love and relationships, but it's still me expressing my true feelings about life and love and relationships. So one thing that keeps me going with that is the legacy. Like you said, these recordings will be around long after I'm gone, and these conversations my son will be able to listen to when he's an adult, and pass it on to his his kids and grandkids and so forth. So that is definitely important. So with the music, that's just telling them another story as well, for me. And so I like that you said that as well. you know Definitely these recordings will live much longer than we will. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely enjoy it, and I like to share with people, I care about people, so like
Mhm,
sharing I feel like sharing my experiences as well, and trying to, you know, I like to be able to identify
mhm,
with people through my music, because I know that, there are other people that have been through the same things that I've been through. So
mhm.
I'm scratching the itch for myself and and all my future fans.
Right. So what has some of the feedback been on your song so far? Because honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, you look like you have more support than I do. Like, I saw your numbers, already, and I'm just like, congratulations. You know what I mean? Because that's one of my biggest things about my music is I get a lot of people telling me they like it. Um, and they're going to save it to their playlists. And, because the cool thing about when you do get your music distributed through these different platforms, you get to see the stats and stuff. You know what I mean? You get to see who's listening to it, the demographic and everything. For some odd reason, I have a big, fan base in Poland, of all places. And it's just one song that gets played all the time. But I still think that's amazing. I'm like, really? Okay. Yeah, rock to it.
Rock
Rock to it.
on.
Like, rock on. Like, hey, if my fan base is in Poland, Zimbabwe, someplace where
That's
I,
cool.
hey, then that's another thing that keeps me motivated is like, I know somebody's listening to my music. Like, I look at the stats and I'm like, it may not be my fellow Americans as much or my fellow
Aw.
Californians, but I see that my music is getting played and I love it, so congratulations on, your numbers, kind of going up since I first, clicked on it myself. But yeah, what
I haven't really I really haven't have you made you might want to tell me about that.
is
I can check it out because I
Mhm.
don't know, I really
Yeah.
don't see it really
Well,
playing.
I mean, that's even good. You know what I mean? Like, because that shows that you're actually really doing it for the love of it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
it's like,
I'm still gonna be doing this. I have another one that's about to come out. I have the engineer mixing it right now,
okay,
but in a few days I should have that back,
yeah,
and I like to go on to Fiverr, and
yeah,
I'll make they're the ones who made also so far they made that lyrics video for me.
nice. And that was
Made two
too.
beats.
Yeah, that I like that too. I mean, it shows again that you're working, and that's why I was saying you probably have more patience than me because I've done a lyric video before, and I did it completely by myself, But now I want to do another one, or eventually. But I'm like, I just want the music to go out. I'm the type that I drop the music and then I turn around and like I don't even really look. I listen to it myself, but I don't even look at it anymore. It's like once it's out, it's like, okay, what's next? I need to drop something else. So again, congratulations on that, on the next one coming out. So with that, I mean, do you have any, questions for me, or, like what could I do like to help support? Because I'm already going to obviously share your stuff and, do whatever I can there. But, if there's anything I could do to help, like any advice or, try to link you with anybody, then I would love to do that. Like, I know like my producer, again, we talked about people in different, across the water, international, like fans and things. My biggest, like my producer is from the Ukraine. And he's just amazing. Like I say, hey, I want this type of beat. And he's like, okay, he's like, I'll do it. Give me a week, give me 2 weeks. Sometimes it's taking a while, 3 weeks, 4 weeks or whatever. And he's just like, I'm sorry, I got busy. But it gets done and I'm always happy with the product. You know what I mean? I'm always happy with the product. So he doesn't charge me like an arm and a leg, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, I want a remix. So he'll take that, switch it up and do a remix even, so little stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I could like link you with too. And, so we could, I definitely think we could collab in some kind of a way, even if it's just the networking side of things. So, yeah, anything. Yeah, I got you. Like anything that I can do, I will definitely do, like to help out or whatever. So,
I appreciate it.
What do you have? What do you have for me? Like, what could I do for you?
Well, to be honest, that I've been thinking that thing that you mentioned, that's kind of like DistroKid, because I went into DistroKid and I paid the fee. It's like an annual fee, but they I tried to upload the song and it had some kind of issue saying that it didn't have like any megabytes, like if it was a blank file.
Yeah.
When I reached out to their support crew, somebody just gave me some automated information and I wasn't able to get that song out and distributed. So I'm just gonna, take the L on that. I was actually thinking maybe I don't know so much if I do want a distribution company like that, because I heard maybe it's a myth that they kind of take credit for your shit.
I could kind of speak on that just a little bit. So with Tooncore, so immediately that was some of the stuff that I was obviously concerned about too. Is like, how much is Tooncore actually going to get from my music? Tooncore, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tooncore doesn't take any of the money at all. But because they get their fee, when you drop a single, it costs $9.99. I don't want to promote them right now like that because they're not paying me, but it's $9.99 for an album. For a single, and then I think it's like $29.99. $49.99 for a full album. Like with I think 5 or more songs, or something like that for a full album. So that's where they get their money. So they don't take money from you when you get, streams or, sales. But yes, when you're on Spotify or Tidal or Google Play or, Apple Music, they take a small percentage, definitely. But it's also, streaming doesn't pay a lot anyway. I'm pretty sure you know that. It's like less than.
I have no idea about none of this stuff.
See, yeah, I can let you know. So if you have any questions, offline, you can definitely ask me.
We're gonna link up.
Yeah, definitely, and I'll tell you all that I know. I'll do research if I have to. But yeah, so one stream is like less than a penny. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, if you sell a single, then I think for us, like independent artists, it's 99 cents. You know what I mean? If you're a signed artist or whatever, it's $1.29. But honestly, from what I've seen, every time I've sold like a single, even if it was just me buying it, I see the 99 cent, like the full 99 cent from Apple. Because I mean, really, there's nowhere else to buy the music unless you put it out on your own website, and maybe it's a physical copy or you're selling an MP3 or Bandcamp. And Bandcamp, I believe they may take a small percentage too, but people are able to give tips, so like I could tell you some stories, like honestly, like just maybe this may be motivation. Like somebody bought like some of my music, but then tipped me like $100. You know what I mean? And that only happened one time, but who can't use $100? So
that's very nice of that person.
So it's like, it's things like that. So there's definitely lots of platforms to sell your music and to stream if you don't want to go through the new way of getting it on Spotify and stuff like that. But again, also, there's companies that will just distribute the music for like one flat rate and it stays up. And that's why I've been kind of thinking like, well, if Tooncore is not gonna, if I got to pay every year, maybe I should start switching or at least start releasing stuff through other platforms. But that's stuff that we'll talk about, offline possibly. But I mean, if that's all, I mean, I think this was actually like really cool and informative about you. Is there anything else that you want to share with, our growing fan base, our possible fan base after this?
Hey, one thing that I thought was very just jacked up. I was really upset when I first tried to release my song, the Aim to Please. It's called Aim to Please, y'all, by Ecstrah. I mean, right now you can only see it in YouTube, but pretty soon it'll be everywhere. So anyway, damn, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So in YouTube, both Sony Music at first and Universal both tried to claim my song. And they put a hit on it. So I put, I'm like, no, this beat is original, this lyrics are original, and I am not signed to either one of those people.
Right.
So Sony backed down after, like a few days or whatever. Wow. They released it and they backed down. But Universal is still.
Really? Wow. So they must think that it's something comparable to something of theirs or something, or it could be a mistake. Hopefully it's just a mistake, but yeah, they definitely need to back down. If it's
right.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. It's definitely a mistake because at the end of the day, how is both Sony and Universal?
Yeah, how could they both? I mean, and again, I've had that issue at work in a more positive note because, like I said, when I do my podcast, so that's another thing that happens when you do distribute through like Tooncore. They track all of your plays and your publishing and everything, royalties from like all over. So when I release my podcast, sometimes I want to use my own songs in it, to play in the background or something like that, or like for intro music maybe. And one time I just, tried to plug my music throughout the whole podcast. So I was literally, I'd play a song and talk about it, because it's all relationship based too. And yeah, I got flagged for like every song that I played. And I was kind of like, well, at least I know they're actually tracking it, because I uploaded the podcast to YouTube basically. So
how is it that they track that then or whatever?
I don't even fully know, but it showed me that if somebody else was to steal my songs or use them for anything, that they would get flagged. And then what they can do is they can get the option of just taking that section of their video out. Or if they let it stay in, I believe then they have to give royalties to me. So in that sense, it worked good, but yeah, because I flagged myself basically. I was like, it's my music.
I haven't even distributed my thing.
Yeah, distributed
exactly. Never put it out.
Right. So, but yeah, I mean, that is kind of weird that both of them claimed it as theirs. But I hope you definitely. I mean, I think you'll win that fight. I think it's kind of,
I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. I'm asking other artists to know if that's ever happened with them with their own original music.
Yeah, it just,
but nobody's like,
yeah. And I mean, admittedly, like I'd used a beat from from a producer. I'd used the beat, and this is just, little lessons too. I used a beat from a producer that I didn't pay for, and I uploaded it to YouTube. And then they didn't take it down, but they did flag it. And then it sucked because later on, like I saw that somebody had bought that beat. And I was like, ew, like yuck, I should have bought it. But I just, again, I talked to my actual new producer. I was like, can you kind of like, fashion something better than this one, the same type of style. Don't copy it, but same time. And he did that. So that's actually a song called Nightmare Wedding, and it's old, but yeah, I mean, really a lot does come with this music. You know what I mean? And I mean, unfortunately, you had to, experience that early on, but the song is cool. Can't wait to hear the other one, and just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Like, hopefully the right person, right people hear it, and it's just like, we can possibly use this for something. That's another thing like we could talk about is licensing. There's a website called Song Trader, and they license music to like, movies, TV shows, video games, apps, even like overhead radio in like malls and stores. You know what I mean? So the more you put out, obviously you have more opportunities to get those licenses. But I got a few. So definitely no, thank you so much for being my first official guest on this show. You were amazing, and yeah, like let me know if you need anything, and yeah, thank you. So any closing words or whatever?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to have
Nice.
completed this with you, and everybody, follow me, subscribe, like, share, and Ecstrah. Let me
Shout
see.
out to, what's the ats? What's all the ats? Give them all the Instagrams and all of that, and the YouTube.
At Ecstrah ECS. Oh yeah, just ECS
Right there.
TRH. I think that's it. And then, and then the YouTube Ecstrah Music MZK. MZK.
Got it.
Excited all when I drop other stuff and thank you. I look forward to speaking you a little more behind the scenes and getting this out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure I can help somewhere. Like, I think at the end of the day, the talent speaks for itself. You know what I mean? It will eventually speak for itself. Sometimes, like me, I wouldn't say I'm switching lanes doing an interview show, but I'm still doing what it is I love, and that's talking about music and, networking with people who also have those same feelings. So thank you. And so we got that. And this was another episode of Hold the Throne with D. Lamar and our guest Ecstrah. So like she said, check her out on YouTube and Instagram. And I'll be sharing this so everybody can find you as well. So, okay. And just hold on. I'm going to end the broadcast and, can kind of like chat a little bit after. So give me a second. Bye, everybody. Hold the throne.